All right, let's jump right in. When you hear the phrase ethical workplace, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's about big company rules, codes of conduct, stuff like that. But what if the real heart of workplace ethics isn't in a handbook at all? What if it's found in the small details of our everyday work life? That's what we're going to get into.
So, seriously, take a second and think about it. What does an ethical workplace actually feel like to you? What are those key ingredients? Just picture it in your mind. What does that look and feel like?
I'm willing to bet some of these words came up, right? Honesty, respect, fairness. And yeah, you're absolutely right. These are the foundations. They're the non-negotiables, the bedrock of any workplace worth being a part of. But, and this is a big but, they're not the whole story. Not even close.
This quote right here, it changes everything. It flips the whole conversation on its head. See, it suggests that ethics isn't just about these big, abstract ideas. It's about the how, the nuts and bolts of our day-to-day. This idea is the key to really understanding what a truly ethical workplace is all about.
So we're going to move past just thinking about ethics as a list of do's and don'ts. Instead, we're going to see how the actual environment we work in, the physical space, the mental pressures, the tools we have to use, that's where ethics really gets real.
Just think about it for a second. Every single job out there has its own set of demands. Maybe your job means you're sitting in a chair for 8 hours straight, or maybe you're lifting heavy stuff all day, or maybe you have to maintain laser focus during some super stressful project. Acknowledging that stuff, that isn't just nice management, it's an ethical duty.
Okay, so to make this idea something we can actually work with, we can break it all down into 3 core pillars. And this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a real framework you can use to look at your own job and figure out how to make things better.
And here's the thing. Building an ethical workplace is an active job. It's a verb. We have to consciously acknowledge the physical side, we have to actively support the mental side, and we have to really consider the environment we're putting people in. These are all design choices. So let's take a look at each one.
First up, we've got physical awareness. This is all about remembering that our bodies come to work with us. I know, it sounds super obvious, right? But you would be amazed how often the actual physical experience of a job gets totally ignored when we're designing how work gets done.
So ask yourself, is your desk setup actually comfortable? Or are you ending the day with a sore neck? Does your company culture actually encourage you to get up and take a real break away from the screen? Answering these questions isn't about company perks. It's about ethically designing work to prevent physical harm and burnout. It's fundamental.
Okay, now let's build on that with our second pillar, mental responsibility. Every job uses our brain, our focus, our patience. But here's the question. Are the demands being placed on our minds fair? Are they reasonable? And most importantly, are they sustainable over the long haul?
Honestly, this is where so many workplaces just miss the mark. You know the vibe. Crushing deadlines, unrealistic workloads, and this unspoken expectation that you can be on and focused all day, every day. That's not high performance. That's just a recipe for burnout. An ethically designed workplace gives people the tools to manage stress and sets goals that a real human being can actually achieve.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar, which kind of zooms out to look at the big picture, environmental considerations. And this means everything, from the layout of the office to the vibe on the company Slack channel.
It really doesn't matter if you're in a cubicle, working from your kitchen table, or out on a factory floor. To do good work, you have to feel safe, you have to feel respected. And that means we have to be intentional about creating inclusive spaces, not just in the physical world, but in our digital ones too, so that everyone feels supported. So, let's pull this all together now. What we're really talking about is a huge shift in thinking. We're moving away from seeing ethics as something written down in a dusty policy document and towards seeing it as something we build, something we experience every single day.
And this right here is the core difference. On one side, you've got ethics on paper. That's your official policies, the mission statement on the wall. Important, sure, but kind of abstract. But then, on the other side, you've got ethics in practice, and that's your actual workload, the chair you sit in, the communication tools you have to use. That is where ethics is either won or lost.
So here it is. This is the big idea we've been building towards. Real, meaningful workplace ethics isn't about avoiding bad behavior. It's about proactively, consciously, and empathetically designing the day-to-day conditions of work so that people can not only succeed but also be healthy and supported. It's a design problem.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. This isn't about some huge company-wide initiative.
It's about your corner of the world. Is there one small thing, one condition you could help redesign? Maybe it's how your team runs meetings, or the expectations around after-hours emails. Maybe it's just the layout of your own desk. What's one small thing you can influence to make work just a little bit more ethical by design? Think about it.